This is the best of the wrap-up show. A recap and behind-the-scenes look with Jon Hein and Gary Dell'Abate. The best of the wrap-up show begins now.
Hey, it's Gary Dell'Abate. On Monday's wrap-up show, we talked about the big contest we had that day, World's Strongest Naked Woman. We talked about how JD judged the push-ups, and Will and I thought he did not a very good job. We talked about how there was a girl there that had a load inside of her. We talked about all the stuff that went on. So here's our recap of World's Strongest Naked Woman.
Let's move on to the World's Strongest Naked Woman competition where Stoya, I guess, prevailed after Alexis couldn't do any pull-ups. And JD, you were in there, and I guess you were the judge of the push-ups?
Yes.
And I didn't think you did such a great job. I'm going to tell you why. Stoya's...
Why didn't you say anything to me?
Because you were in the middle of doing it. Stoya's push-ups were perfect push-ups. Who was the girl? The
Alexis.
Alexis. She all her push-ups were on her knees.
Okay.
Did you not notice?
No.
Were you distracted by her rear end?
I was focused at the task at hand, was making sure her boobs hit my hand. And
her first 6 were good push-ups, and then after that, she kept every time she went down, she was on her knees.
Hold on. I'll tell you the same thing.
Girl push-ups.
I'll tell you the same thing I told Lisa G. This wasn't the fucking Olympics, all right?
There's money on the line. You know, Howard, you got to treat it right.
Hey, you're a judge.
I treated it as right as I thought I could. Sorry, you know.
You're saying the last 6 push-ups she did, Gary, she was on her knees?
I'm just saying they weren't quality push-ups compared to Stoya's. Stoya's were, outright perfect push-ups.
Yeah, well, I know she wasn't doing perfect form, but no one else was saying anything. Everyone else was counting along with me.
Well, they
had a better view.
Are you the judge, or are you the judge who listens to everyone around him?
I was the guy whose hand boobs had to touch. That's all I was.
Was it your fist or was it your hand? I was confused by that.
It depended.
I thought it was going to be the hand, but then Will kept yelling at me saying it was too low, so then I did the fist. So I did the fist.
And was it hard to focus on the task at hand, considering what you had in your face there?
Well, nothing was in my face, actually. It was on my hand. But, I was holding the mic, and I was trying to count along. But no,
Was it a turn on at all that her nipple grazed your fist?
Not really. I mean, it was good, but I wasn't, aroused at the time.
Did you get wood at any point during the show today?
No.
And who did you think was going to win that part of the contest?
Stoya, because if you look at her, she's a fit, petite girl. Her arms are ripped.
Her whole body was ripped.
Yeah.
But according to your judging, Alexis was the one who did the most push-ups.
Well, her boob touched my hand the most.
And you didn't enjoy that at all.
It was nice. Did it arouse me? No, I was not sexually aroused. I did not get hard. Is that what you're trying to go for?
Do you believe that, Gary?
No.
You think I was sitting there with a boner?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm going to have to get the pecker checker out.
Go ahead.
What did you think of the stories all 3 contestants had today? First, Stoya was very upset if you brought up Marilyn Manson or anything that happened because you weren't focusing on her, you were focusing on him. And is that just the price of fame?
Yeah, if you're going to date somebody that's more famous than you, that's what you got to deal with.
And what was Dorenzia doing with this couple for her birthday?
She is a dominatrix who has a guy that she fucks often because he has an open marriage, and so for her birthday, he brought his wife. It's a whole other world.
It takes all kinds.
Yes, it does. And did Alexis having a cream pie affect her performance today? JD, you could probably judge that best.
Well, her the lower half was weighted down, so I don't know.
I don't those stories are those stories are funny or humorous to me and everything. But when she talks about how sometimes she's in an elevator and it falls out, I thought I was going to throw up.
Well, we were worried in the office whenever she was riding the Sibian that shit would actually fly out and hit you in the eye again.
Well, I don't know if you saw. I think she must have gotten sweaty when she was riding the Sibian. She did one of the craziest Sibian rides I ever saw. It was almost like the Sibian was a bucking bronco, and she almost got thrown twice, even though it wasn't moving. But Howard said, help her up. So I went to help her up, and when I grabbed her hand, it was soaked, but I didn't know what it was soaked. It turned out it was probably sweat. And if you look on camera, I start trying to pump the hand juice out of the soap thing, but it was empty, and I just ran to the bathroom and washed it.
Hey, JD, what did you think of what Alexis is doing at the strip clubs? Have you heard of that? Something like that happening before?
You hear stories like that all the time, of course. Listen, she's, just a girl working for her money, you know?
As she said, money talks, right?
Yeah, exactly. No, trust me, I know. I don't do a lot of talking.
What, at the clubs you're saying?
Yeah.
But you also don't have a lot of money.
Exactly. That's what I mean.
Yeah, so how do you close that deal if you don't have any money?
You don't. You get the fuck out of there and leave, crying. I don't know.
Will Murray, did you think JD was an effective judge of the push-ups?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I was kind of trying to help him because he must be half retarded because it really isn't that hard to do it. But
well, what? Do what? I did.
You know how to do a push-up, you idiot?
Yeah, I know how to do a push-up.
No, so
what
you
did I
don't
do?
lay your hand. You put your hand on the ground.
Okay, all
no,
right.
that's not. They have to be like 6 inches off the ground.
I've hardly.
So
had
you
people,
said. So I said, do you know how to do a push-up? And you just said yes, and now you're saying no, I don't.
No. There's a difference between doing a push-up and how you judge someone doing a push-up.
Yeah, so you don't lay your hand flat on the ground and say, touch my hand.
Okay, all right. Well, I know how to do a push-up, and now I know how the full effect of how the judge won.
Do you think you could have beat any of those girls?
No.
Even the one who got 1 point?
No.
You can do one push-up.
I can probably do one.
I know he can't do one pull-up. I'm almost sure of that.
Yeah, you're probably. If I grab on it, I get some momentum.
Yeah, 2 of those girls couldn't do pull-ups. Stoya was the only one, and she banged them out, too.
Yeah, that was impressive. She probably did more than almost everybody in that studio could do.
But after Alexis did all those push-ups, which JD judged as he did you think she was going to be able to do a couple pull-ups, or was Stoya a lock at that point?
Well, her push-ups are kind of suspect to begin with. Thank you, JD. But I did think she'd do a few.
Right.
I mean, she only had to do 6 or 7 for $5,000. I think I could find the energy.
But it just didn't happen.
She was terrible. She did that little running jump that you try and do to start, but she stopped midair. That was it. That's as far as she was going.
By the way, visually, brilliance. There's nothing funnier than when she's struggling to get a chin up her legs. She's naked. Her legs are flapping like a fish.
I know. I didn't want that cum hit me in the face.
Yeah, what was going on during that Sibian ride?
I don't know. I was trying to watch myself because, there's a lot of vibration going down there, and I was waiting for something to spit up off the saddle and hit me right in the head.
Wasn't that one of the crazier Sibian rides ever? Like her feet were off the ground.
She was into it.
Yeah. It was like the real deal, and she was making all sorts of fuck faces and everything.
You know, it's funny. I always say you never know who's going to stop by the wrap-up show, and on Tuesday's show, I was the one who was surprised. Henry Winkler, the Fonz. The reason I created Jump the Shark was in the serious hallways, and we pulled him in, and I got to meet him after doing the site for so many years, over 2 decades. I finally got to meet Henry Winkler face to face, and he had a great sense of humor. He definitely was a fan of the site, at least I think he was, and it was a very awkward, strange, and wonderful moment that I'll never forget.
We have a very special guest with us. Henry Winkler was just walking by outside, and so we called him in. Hi, Henry. How you doing?
I'm so happy to be here.
And,
how are you?
And here's the interesting thing. I
Yes.
realized, so I met Henry a bunch of times because he used to be the executive producer of Hollywood Squares, which I was on.
And you were a great square.
And I always love having him on. But I realized that Jon is the creator of JumpTheShark.com, and you two have never met.
That's
No,
true.
my goodness.
Nice to meet you.
How are you?
I'm great.
My God, where'd you come up with that idea?
No, I know I spoke to you about that once, and I asked you whether you were annoyed by that. Were you?
I was not annoyed because we went on to be #1 for 5 or 6 years after that.
Right.
And every time they mentioned Jump the Shark, in the newspaper, they always put a picture of me water skiing. And at that time, I had great legs. So it's you.
It's me.
Really?
Yes.
We have to talk.
Absolutely.
What the hell were you thinking?
Hey.
No.
Do you know that Jon? So he created that, had a couple of books, some
Yes.
calendars, the whole thing.
It's
you know that
America.
he sold it to TV Guide for. We don't know. We have guesses, but it's a pretty substantial amount of money.
I'm going to shake his hand. No, you know what? I have to tell you, I'm the only actor in the world that has jumped the shark twice. Once on Arrested Development.
Oh, I saw that. Believe me.
Yeah.
I thought that was great. But I really owe all that to you. I mean, as a fan of Happy Days growing up, it was fantastic.
And then you just turned against me.
Well, I didn't turn against you.
You were a fan. Oh, I was a big fan. I had your autograph.
Actually,
and then I hate you.
Well, Ted McGinley actually is the one who I had a hard time with, but we worked it out.
But he's very good looking, though.
He's a very handsome guy.
When I met him, I thought, oh my God, there must be 19 men who are ugly because Ted has got all the handsome.
He's a good-looking guy.
But both him, yourself, Ron Howard, other people they've spoken about have always been. They've been great. I mean, you guys.
Well, you know what? Honestly, I'm very happy to meet you in person.
Likewise,
because you've created this incredible phrase that has just permeated. No, really, it's permeated the entire culture.
Yeah,
that's pretty strong.
It shocks me.
What school were you going to when you were thinking about this?
University of Michigan.
There you were in a dorm.
Yeah, we were talking about our favorite TV shows, and
what were you drinking at the time?
It might have been Stroh's. It could have been. I don't know what beer was out there.
Laced with peyote. What? Anything in there?
We were just all huge TV fans and had a fun time with the conversation. Yeah, and the phrase kind of got me onto this show. That's how I met Gary. That's how I met all these guys.
The way we met John was Fred was reading a copy of Sports Illustrated, had a little mention about what it was, and Fred said, "Hey, I think this guy might be good for the show." So we tracked him down and we called him, and he was very good on the show.
Right.
But there's been Jump the Shark.
Wow.
So let's listen. There's Jump the Shark, the website, right?
Yeah.
Jump the Shark, the TV show. But it never took up. But you did a pilot.
I did two television pilots. Wrote 2 books.
Right.
And
was there a calendar?
There was a calendar, and then no action figures. But then I sold the website to TV Guide about 5-6 years ago.
Wow.
Hey, is it possible? Because Happy Days was a huge TV show, but it was like 30 years ago.
Right.
That John, in today's dollars, might have made more money off of Jump the Shark than you did from Happy Days.
Than I did?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
I doubt that.
Were you right at the beginning of syndication?
We were right at the beginning.
So you got syndication
I had a
money.
lawyer who taught me to fly fish for trout. Which is about the new book that I...
Right, so what's the name of the new
how
book?
I got that in there?
Yeah.
So it's called I Never Met an Idiot on the River. But the same man, Skip Brittenham III, changed the face of deal-making, making deals for me, John Ritter, and Ted Danson in television.
So you got residuals, but you also got syndication money.
I got syndication money.
And how about, and this I've always
that
been
has
curious,
run out.
What about the DVD money?
Can you do anything about that?
I'll work on it.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Did you ever see money from the DVDs? Because I know that was a big thing with the actor strike.
I got a different deal for merchandising because of Skip. But now Marion and Don and Anson are suing Paramount for never paying them for all of the stuff that's out there.
Right. Did you ever get tired of being Fonzie and being the Fonz?
Because look what I get to do. Tomorrow, Royal Pains starts its 3rd season. I'm on Children's Hospital with Rob Corddry. I get to write these books. I just made a film about cage fighting, about the UFC with Kevin James. A week ago we finished in Boston. I met these guys. Have you met these guys? The cage fighters?
Yeah, we've had some of them
they
on.
They are Zen gentlemen, are they not? And then they'll eat your heart out.
Right.
Amazing.
Now, do you? I know that you used to be a very big listener to the show. Did you travel over to Satellite with us?
You know what? I just got Satellite in the car, so I'm just starting again. True.
It's a little different than the show that you used to listen to, but you're going to love it even more, I believe.
Yeah. No, listen, I was on only once, and I was treated with such warmth and like a gentleman. It was great.
Well, thank you. Just give us the name of the book really quick.
It's called I Never Met an Idiot on the River, Photographs I Took While on the River and Stuff I Learned While I Fly Fished.
Well, go out and buy the book. It's available. Bookstores Whipbench.
What a pleasure to meet you.
Very nice to meet you, too.
Thank
when
you.
I was a little kid growing up in South Carolina, this was, that Adam Sandler song, like the Hanukkah song?
Yeah.
So when I was a little kid, you were like one of the first Jewish people. All the Jewish kids started whispering, like, Henry Winkler's Jewish. Like, we were so excited about it and would tell everybody.
Yeah, I was in the closet. I was a Jew in the closet.
But it was one of the first ones that came out. As a little kid, it was a big thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And that's how I met Adam. I called him to thank him for being in his song. song. I thought that was just magnificent.
That's great.
And before you go, do you mind like hitting something and making it turn on?
Is anything broken in the studio?
You hit Richard in the
That guy
head.
in the
You can
purple
hit
shirt
me.
over there.
No, but listen, thank you all for inviting me.
Thanks.
And Gary, what a pleasure to see you.
Always
again.
great to see you. Henry is true. I say this all the time. Truly the nicest guy in the world. I tell everybody when I did Hollywood Squares 5 times, he was the executive producer. He would be waiting for me at the door, carrying my garment bag, help me unpack my stuff, give me a hug. My mother came, my uncles came. He's like the best host ever. Just a great guy.
Yeah, but
Thank you.
that was also my job.
Well, I've been on a lot of other shows where I have not met the executive producers. But thank you very much, Henry. Good
bet.
luck with the book.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you for stopping
you.
by.
Thank you.
Henry Winkler, everybody. A guy I never thought I'd meet face to face. Wow. It's a pleasure.
Unbelievable.
And I loved your King of the Hill episode too, by the way.
You know what?
I cried at the end of it.
You did?
Yeah, when Bobby's on the horse, like up
Yeah.
on the mountain. Yeah.
Yeah. Bobby was like a little boy played by this fabulous woman. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Hey, before you go, we got a call for you. We take a call?
Yeah.
Wheels, you're on the wrap-up show.
Hey, my man Fonz, do me a favor. Can you say "Hey, Wheels" for me?
Wheels, babe, you're the greatest.
No, say "Hey."
Hey, all right. What are you so specific?
I love you. I love you, Henry.
And I'm crazy about you, Wheels.
All right, thanks, buddy.
Bye.
Wow, you shut Wheels up. That's impressive.
Hey, I'll take any Henry Winkler trivia question.
When's Henry's birthday?
I don't know, but I mean like more basic stuff.
You mean like Fonzie trivia or Henry trivia?
Henry trivia?
All right, name a movie that Henry was in within 5 years of Happy Days.
I don't know that kind of stuff. I'm talking
I
about
know.
like where he grew up and stuff like that.
Where did I grow up?
Night
New
shift,
York,
right?
in
78th and Broadway.
Yeah, that's right.
I went to PS 87.
And then he went to Yale too.
I did. I got a master's degree.
Yeah.
Night Shift, great film.
Thank you.
Classic.
Ron Howard's first film away from independence and for the big studio for Warner Brothers.
Are you still close with Ron Howard?
I am. He's like my younger brother. Yeah, I love him very much.
And does the whole cast still stay in touch?
We talk all the time. Marion Ross played Mrs. C, one of the great women of the 21st century.
Well, you and your partner, just your producing partner, didn't you guys do a Happy Days reunion special?
Yes, Michael Levitt.
Michael Levitt, very recently,
Yes,
right?
Absolutely. 2006, I think, was the last time. And it was the third highest rated non-scripted show on the air.
People love that show.
Yep.
People love Happy Days. I was right
Listen,
there for it.
I just got, an OBE, an Order of the British Empire from the Queen of England. It just is amazing. It's
great.
Just amazing where it goes.
Well, congratulations, and
Thank
good luck
you.
on the book again. Thank you for
Thanks.
stopping by.
Bye, everybody.
Take care.
Thank you. Henry Winkler, everybody.
On Wednesday's wrap-up show, we talked about Andrea's, Miss Howard Stern's date with Joe, and about Joe taking $200 out of Andrea's wallet. And Greg, Rob, and Lee, and they from Howard TV came in and gave their thoughts on the date. And we also talked about like when this is all over, 5 years or whenever from now, when the show's all done, if we'll still get together and be friends and hang out together.
Andrea and Joe, and I think you, Gary, tried to explain what happened with the date yesterday, and that was a bit of a...
It's very difficult. Andrea is, first of all, is all over the place. My son was up here yesterday, and he was like, who's the girl who speaks like a 4-year-old? Because she's got a little girl voice. And he heard her running around the hallways and everything.
Yeah. Andrea, I can't even describe how she speaks, but Joe was trying to talk, and you were trying to explain it, and there seemed to be a lot of chaos during this, and I don't even know what we learned from that, other than they did have the date.
No, what we learned is that Andrea wanted her money, and she wanted her money before anything else, and then she got her money. And then what we learned this morning was he was trying to take some of it back. He said he just needed a couple of bucks, but Rob, our camera guy, thought that his feeling was he wanted some of his money back.
So you think he was trying to sneak it, like trying to swipe it back?
We should get Rob down here. He's got a better idea about it.
Like a rebate, kind of?
Well,
like if we
like
had
a refund.
Noticed, if she hadn't noticed, would she have been informed?
I don't know. I don't think so. I don't know. I wasn't there. Can I tell you something weird that happened yesterday too?
Sure.
I told Howard this morning. So my older son's up here because he's been, he's doing a little bit of work up here upstairs in sports. So he's here yesterday, and she walks into my office and just proceeds to plop down in my lap.
Andrea, Miss Howard Stern.
Miss Howard Stern. And she goes, Gary, she throws her arms and she's like, Gary, what happened between us? How come we can't be close like we used to be? And I said, Andrea, I'm going to ask you a favor. I said, you see the big kid out there? That's my son. And I really don't want to explain to him.
Did you explain it to him?
He didn't ask. I don't know what he saw, what he didn't see, but I got her off my lap fairly quickly. I said, that's my son, and I really don't want to have to say him go home and tell his mother that some cute blonde plopped down on my lap.
Yeah, so how was work today, everyone? Jim in Pennsylvania, you're on the wrap-up show.
Yeah, how you doing, Jon and Gary? Hey, good to talk to you. I just had, from what I could hear from today's call, it sounded like when Andrea was there, it sounded like they were at the airport, and Joe was saying, hey, I need a couple of your dollars back here to get your plane changeover fee I got to pay, and I'll get it back to you. Don't be worried. But
yeah, but
they weren't at the airport. They were in a hotel room.
And Craig Carmel's here from Howard TV. And Greg, do you have the lowdown on this? What happened? Was there a rebate? Was a refund requested? Did he try to take the money back?
Not while I was there yesterday during the date, but I don't think the guy spoke for the first 2 hours of the date. It was just this running stream of consciousness where she went from one horrible story to the next about, getting pregnant at 17, to like her relationship with her parents, to several abortions she's had, to her sugar daddy, and then sort of segued that into the money request.
Hey, I couldn't understand. She brought it up yesterday on the show. She brought it up yesterday to me in the hallway, and then I heard it on the tape. When she says, I'm going to call my daddy, is she talking about a sugar daddy, another kind of daddy, or her actual father?
No, her actual father.
Okay.
Because she spoke about how bad her relationship was with her mom for a good 15 minutes, trashed her mom, and then went into how her dad basically gave her everything until he lost his money and wasn't able to provide for her. That's when the stripping started.
When she talks about her daddy, somehow it sounds very dirty.
Yeah. And was this...
You always think of the guy from the, what's his name, from the Bunny Ranch?
Yeah.
When someone says daddy?
And was Joe dissuaded at all as he listened to all this, or was his money was down and he was in for the long haul of the date?
I felt like initially he was down for the long haul because I think he saw a light at the end of the tunnel.
Mm-hmm.
I think he thought, this could lead to something. I think he was genuinely attracted to her, and he's got a ton of money, and I think he said he'd been divorced twice. So, but at this point, if he's still into it, he's some sort of saint. Because
but who's more into who at this point, do you think?
She's definitely just seeing dollar signs. It's, from my opinion, anyway. I mean, she cut right to the chase after 2 hours of talking to herself.
This isn't about true love? Is that what you're telling me, Greg?
Listen, I don't want to be a cynic because I do believe in true love, John, but I don't think this is going anywhere unless you can keep, forking out the cash.
Hey, Rob, our camera guy is here. What's up, man? So you were there when Joe and Andrew, you were shooting in the room when they were on the phone this morning, right?
Yes, I was.
So did you see him take the money out of her pocket? Where did he take it from?
He said he took it out of her bag because, what did he say? He said he had to go get snacks in the middle of the night. And,
so he had taken it out earlier than when she noticed it.
Yeah, later on, earlier that night, because he said he had no money for.
But $200 worth of snacks?
Yeah, and then he didn't wind up using it because he still had the $200 bill.
In your opinion, if she'd have left for the airport, would he have mentioned it to her?
Absolutely not. I don't believe so.
Did he wait?
Sounds like they're meant for each other.
Were you in there when he actually took the money?
No, he did it the night before.
So he told you then he did the night. Huh.
Yeah,
no, we said it on the air.
Yeah. I just wasn't sure if he did it with a wink to the camera or something like that. But I don't know. That's pretty scummy. If he.
Well, it's his money. He didn't. It's
what
not.
do you mean it was his money?
It's in other words, it's not. He didn't pay her for something.
But Gary, he gave. If you give me something, it's no longer yours. Just because
I know. It's a gray area.
It's not a gray area at all. Where's the gray?
He needed. Maybe he gave her all his money, and then he had no money to get to the airport.
Lee, what do you have to say about this? This is Lee from Howard TV.
Yeah, we were there this morning to get, post reaction and stuff after they were on the air. This is my impression of him. I felt like he realized after spending a night with her that he's like, I've got to get out of this. I mean, he was bringing up things that he even turned to her and said at one point, why didn't you pick the bald guy? And she even picked up on it and said, why would you ask me that? You just spent a night with me. It just seemed like he was really ready to go. He was booking her flight for her. I mean, if he could have pushed her out the window, it seems like he would have done it. He just wouldn't commit to us saying that there will, 100% be a next time. That's what I got.
I understand that. If he says it doesn't work out and he wants to move on, so be it. But taking the money back that he gave her already, that's a whole other.
It's one of those things that's probably be impossible to ever prove unless he admits to it that he intended to.
Listen, the guy needed snacks, for God's sakes.
It's a lot of snacks.
Hotel snacks are expensive. That's true.
Imagine putting $100 in the vending machine. You get 99
lot of change.
99 Susan B. Anthony dollars back.
Jim in Riverdale, you're on the wrap-up show.
First time, long time, guys. Listen, I worry about Robin sometimes. I think that she's kind of married to the show. When the show's over, that's when I think the depression and the loneliness will set in. Is there make any sense to anybody else in the room?
I think we'll all be depressed and lonely when this show is over. I think we'll all miss it.
And single.
No, but I think we'll all miss the show in a big way. So,
but you don't have significant others, Gary. I mean, you got a family, you got you got your boys, but Robin's going to be the one that's really. Because you think about it, she's the one that's going to be really left out there. I'm sure you guys will be keeping contact, but it's not going to be obviously an everyday thing like you used to. You know what I mean?
I don't know about that, Jim, because Robin is anything but not busy. She keeps herself very occupied doing a lot of different things, and I don't know if she'll necessarily be bored when the show goes away. Plus, who knows what she's going to do after the show ends.
Yeah,
but in terms of...
She needs a cock. She needs a cock between those big monkey tits. Let's be honest.
Jim brings up another point, not this point. That's being a goofy point, but... The point that Jim brings up is, like, say the show goes for the next 4.5 years, and then it ends. How it goes, I'm not resigning, and everybody goes to do on their own thing. Do you think that everybody will stay in contact, and to what degree?
I think everyone will want to stay in contact, but you get a new job and you meet different people, and naturally the thing kind of falls apart. Like, I think Sal and Richard will always stay in contact. I think you and I will probably always stay in contact.
But like, I wonder, like, I see Fred every day. I don't see him that much socially unless we go out to events. But the idea of never talking to Fred again makes me really sad. But so I guess someone's got to make an effort.
I think there will be events and occasions and things like that to keep everybody together. But it's not the same as seeing everybody on a same day basis.
Do you think that at some point after the show's over that there would be some sort of a museum of broadcasting event that would reunite everybody, would bring back Jackie and John and everybody?
I'm sure people would be up for that.
Ronnie would probably have a reunion for us on his show. Like, get everyone together on the stage.
Do you think you're going to stay in touch with people?
Some people. I think nowadays it's so much different than it was even 10 years ago of staying in touch. So yeah, I think to the like the Facebook kind of way, like, hey, how you doing? What you're up? That kind of way. And then I'm sure some people just because they're nearby or something I'll end up staying more in touch.
You're right. Electronically, it's easy between Facebook and email and everything else. But I'm talking like physically get together and hang out. I don't know. It's a good question. Well, I guess we're going to find out in 4.5 years, right?
Well, maybe we'll sign for another 5 and we'll find out in 9.5 years.
On Thursday's wrap-up show, once again, proof that you never know who's going to walk by the studios here at SiriusXM. Nick Cannon walked by and Gary flagged him down and was able to get him to come in. And the two of them kind of hashed it out over whether or not there's a beef between Nick Cannon and Howard, and it got pretty interesting. Check it out.
But it also, I mean, it's really interesting legally. Like
come in here. Get the fuck in here.
Who is that?
You come here now. Come on.
Oh my!
It's Nick Cannon. Come on.
Oh, cool.
Please, come in here. 2 seconds.
Steve, go grab Nick.
Come on.
Yeah,
2 seconds. He's coming.
He's got some hot chicks with him, too.
It's Nick Cannon. We're going to get him in and we're going to ask him what's going on with him and Howard.
That's right. It's Mariah Carey's husband.
Yeah.
So Nick's walking through the hall. God, you never know who's going to be up here, Gary.
Please introduce him as that.
It's to be embarrassing if it's not him.
It's him.
All right.
Of course it's him.
Well, we always talk about how you never know who's going to be in the hallways. We've got all this glass around us. We can see who's
Thank
here.
you, Nick. Thank you. You're a good
Nick
man.
Cannon comes in.
What's up? Put him on, Benji.
Come right over here. Right over here. So Nick.
Yes.
How you doing, man?
I'm good, man. How you been?
Good. How do you like working at our old radio station, by the way?
I love it, actually. Why can't I hear you guys? There we go.
So here's the opening question. What's going on with you and Howard?
I don't know. Okay, we'll take it all the way back.
Okay.
I don't know where it actually began. I have 3 ideas though.
Okay.
One, I don't know if there was a beef between him and my wife back in the day or whatever, but she's been on the show and they kind of.
I don't think there was. I think that they've always been on good terms.
Good terms. And then when I got the job on America's Got Talent, I know Howard's a fan of Springer as well as Regis. So I think when I got the job, he was like, who's this kid, this hip-hop kid on the show? And then he said a couple things, and I let it slide because I'm a fan. And then when I got the job at the old station at 92.3 at K-Rock, then I think that probably was like, he'll never succeed over there. He'll never do good. And then there was some more things said. And I felt like Howard, as Howard is, kind of he got a little too disrespectful when it got, saying certain things about my wife.
You think it got personal?
Yeah, I didn't, and I was like, because I'm a fan. I was like, whoa, where does that come from? And I was wondering why he went, at times, I think he might have said something about my wife's weight and the, oral sex and all this. I was like, yo, Howard, that's a little too far. So then, of course, me being who I am, I don't never hold my tongue. I start saying stuff back. And
you like to tweet, too.
I love it. I love it. I love it to death.
Because I know a lot of times I follow some of your tweets and you say Howard's old and he's tired.
Old, white trash. I say all that stuff to just piss everybody off.
So is this a matter, Nick, of you two just getting under each other's skin? And
I don't know. I'm a fan. I listen to you guys. I listen to the show all the time. And I see it for what it is. I mean, it's entertainment. I know good radio is good radio. You can't really go wrong, and Howard's the best to ever do it. But I still got beef with him. I still, he has to respect the young man.
So the question is, if he ever said, hey, Nick, why don't you come on the show and let's hash this out, would you do it?
Oh, that was the thing, too. I remember that you guys did a bit, like when I first got the job on America's Got Talent, you trying to get me on the air, and I was out in L.A. shooting a show. And my stepbrother is actually a really big Stern fan. And he was like, yo, you got to call. And like, yo, I can get money if you call. And I was like, I would call, but I just didn't have the time at the time because I was out on the West Coast. And I don't know, at this point now, because I know how you guys roll and how you operate, it's kind of be like, I'd be playing on y'all territory, and it'd be dangerous. That would be my only thing to come in there.
I would give you two reasons why you'd want to come in. Because first of all, when you're looking Howard in the eye face to face,
right,
it's an easier conversation than say if you're on the phone.
Right.
And the other thing is you can say whatever you want. Like, you know what I mean?
But
it doesn't have to come to that. But you can say, "Hey, what the fuck is wrong with you?"
Yeah, but I still love Howard, and so
you can love Howard, but not like what he says about you.
Yeah, or that's, to me, it's like it's certain things. Like when you start talking about my wife and all that stuff, it's like it just gets a little too far. And I don't want to punch an old man. That would, I don't want. That wouldn't be good for anybody.
Hey, what do you mean when you said like Howard said about oral?
Oh, he actually, I think the actual thing he said, my radio show would not succeed unless I came on air and talked about my wife giving me a blowjob in the morning. And I was like, yo, first of all, it's a top 40 station. I can never say that. But it's just like, it was just stuff that was just going too far. And then
I think one of the other things,
saved a bit. I play it every morning in the gym.
I mean, that seems like a joke though.
But no, because he said it in a, like, if it was, come on, I'm a comic. I know when somebody, when you're joking, that's funny. But then when you're just saying it and you're having a conversation, get a little, like,
But is that more about you or about Mariah that it offended you?
Anytime you disrespect my wife.
But how is that disrespecting her?
It is. I mean, because it was in context of some other things. Like, he said things personally about her that I probably don't even really need to repeat because they were just mean-spirited things.
Okay.
And then that on top of it, I was like, all right. You want to say that? Like, I would never go there. I wouldn't say that about his wife. I wouldn't say that about. I think when you start talking about a man's wife and his children, then you need your ass whooped.
I don't know. You got to go out to my
bottom line.
I know you got to go. Last question.
Oh yeah, because I'm the grill master now. That's your Baba Booey. I'm the grill master. I'm like at the hot dog contest. That's why I'm here.
Oh, so plug what you're doing.
I'm here because I'm like doing my thing at Coney Island. There's a hot dog eating contest. I have my own morning radio show. I tried to enter the contest. It didn't work. So now I'm just cooking the hot dogs and serving people Pepto-Bismol.
All right. The last, well, good luck. The last question before you go. I know one of the things that makes Howard crazy is when somebody who's not a radio person steps into radio, his feeling is always like, oh, they're going to think it's really easy. Wait till they see how hard it is. Is it hard?
It's definitely hard, and I never thought it was going to be easy. I was a kid who kind of grew up, like, as a comic. I was interning at different radio stations, so I kind of always had a little background, but I knew morning radio was intense, and that's why, I tried to prepare and do everything that I had to do to kind of take it on, and I love it. Like, I mean, I don't have to do it. I remember I was listening one time, you were saying, like, because you like Drumline. Thank you for that.
It was a great movie.
I love that.
I love that movie.
You didn't know that was me? All black guys look alike. Don't worry about it. No, but it was, you were saying, like, why do I do morning radio? Like,
Right. Why do you need to do it? Because you have a whole career.
Yeah, like I make a lot of money.
Right.
So, but I do this because I love it. I love entertaining people. I'm the same kid that'll be on a stage at 3 o'clock in the morning at a comedy club with 3 people in the audience because I love it.
But how do you do that and then go to work?
I don't sleep. I don't sleep at all. I'm one of those I know all entertainers say that. That's like the P. Diddy motto, don't sleep. But I literally don't sleep. I sleep a few hours throughout the day, but I'm always up.
You still enjoying America's Got Talent?
I love it, man. It's good times. I don't know. It's one of those shows where it's about, it's not, it doesn't take itself seriously, so I get to have fun on there, and it's all these competition shows, Idol, The Voice, all that. We actually get to have fun on our show.
I so admire. I didn't know that was you. Like how hard you worked to get in the drum line. Seriously, man.
Thank you, man. Nah, that was a lot of training. That was intense.
Ganji, who works is the last thing. Ganji, who works for our TV show, he started on a plane and he said he cried. we never let him live that. But thank you for coming in.
Anytime.
I think it's really cool of you to stop by.
No doubt, man.
And you should come and do the real show before the wrap up show.
Hey, if
you're always invited.
Well, thank you.
I'm inviting you now.
All right, when I have something to promote that it works out, I'll come through.
He's the guy who started the TMZ website. I didn't know this about him, but he doesn't own that thing. I thought it was just his thing.
Kidding.
No, it's Time Warner owns it.
But you say he started it.
Yeah, but I don't know. I think Time Warner started it, and they hired him to do it.
Oh.
Yeah, so he's like a worker like us.
I thought he was the man.
No. Here, Harvey Levin is the creator and managing editor of TMZ.com. So maybe he was working for Time Warner at the time. I don't know how it all works. I got to ask him.
We'll have to find out.
He also hosts TMZ on TV, which is syndicated on Fox stations across the country. They're starting some sort of TMZ live channel here at Sirius, so Harvey's going to call in and promote it. From 6 to 7 p.m. on Sirius XM Stars. Okay, it's not a whole channel, but there'll be a TMZ show.
Okay.
Gossip, yeah. He seems to be on top of things.
They seem to know a lot.
Yeah, I'm just wondering, does he get a cut of that thing? Or there's Harvey now. Hey, Harvey. You know, my mother wanted to name me Harvey.
Really?
My father put his foot down for once. Like, my father wasn't the type that actually told my mother what to do.
But you think Harvey's better or Howard's better than Harvey?
Howard's a really shitty name, but Harvey's 50 fucking times worse. Ask Harvey. Hey, Harvey.
You are so right.
Yeah.
You're not going to believe this, but it was between two things, seriously. It was Harvey or Pierpontal.
Oh, God.
Pierpontal?
Wait a second. Pierpontal?
They were... My dad told me that they were drinking one night. They were having a party, and they were coming up with names. And seriously, he said it was between the two of those. So I guess he's telling me I should feel good about it.
Well, yeah, that's kind of my parents' rap. I'm always like, why Howard? I mean, life's hard enough. I mean, it's such a shitty name. Who looks at a baby and says, Howard? And my mother goes, that's right. I wanted to name you Harvey. But because they had to use an H because they named me after my great-grandfather, who was a total fucking shit. He was the devil. Why they had to name me after him? According to my mother, he's a horrible man. Why would you name me after some dude like that? He did a terrible thing. You know what he did, Harvey?
What?
My great-grandfather. This is the guy I'm named after. This guy was such a skunk. My mother started explaining this to me. I was like, well, why would you name me after him? This was my mother's grandfather. He was like living in Germany. And he said, hey, I'm going to go to America and make a whole bunch of money to bring you guys over. He had a wife and a bunch of kids. And he comes over and he forgets about them. Gets married, has a whole other family. The Holocaust happens, and they all get killed.
Oh, my God.
And they wanted to come over, and he wouldn't even let them over.
Oh, my God.
That's who I'm named after.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, I mean, you believe this?
I'm stunned.
Yeah. I wish I was Pierpont. I really do. I've never heard of the name Pierpont, but I think it would be better.
Is that really a true story?
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
It's awful. I go to my mother, why would you name me after? She goes, listen, when I was a little girl, my mother would bring me to his house. She wouldn't talk to him because, of course, everyone was dead from the family. But she would send me, as a little girl, she would send me up the steps to his apartment, and he would play with me and push me on a swing. So he was very nice to me. I go, well, okay, he was nice to you. Your mother wouldn't even fucking talk to the guy.
Unbelievable.
Like, why would you curse me with that?
Unbelievable. Well, you did fine.
I did fine. Look at what an upstanding guy I am.
You did great.
Harvey, we were just talking about this. The website TMZ, I thought you owned it and started it.
Well, I started it.
Yeah, but Time Warner owns it.
Yeah.
How does that work? That you start something they own?
Because he was working for Time Warner.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, there are a million stories like this.
It's like a guy who works for a drug company, invents the cure for cancer. The company owns it.
Yeah, I know all those inventions that Bell Labs had. Nobody ever got credit except the company.
See, to me, you can say this to me and I can wince, but today, I just think, can you imagine? I hear about MySpace, what happened to MySpace, and I'm just thinking, things could be worse. Can you imagine that a company that was worth $600 million was sold for $30 million? How they screwed that company up?
Yeah, that's unbelievable. And you know what else I think about when I think about MySpace? How come Sumner Redstone at Viacom doesn't hire back that guy who lost out on the MySpace bidding?
Because that guy seems to now be a winner.
Yeah, Tom Freston. Right. Like Tom Freston saved Sumner Redstone a fortune, and Rupert Murdoch ended up buying MySpace. Remember how they both were fighting over it?
Right, they were vying for it.
That's right.
And Tom Freston was like, I don't think we should be paying this much for it. So Sumner fired him for not getting it. Meanwhile, he should be blowing Tom Freston.
Right.
Where's Tom now?
Right, Harvey?
Right. It's like, and the really funny thing now is that now they're going to have Justin Timberlake kind of run this thing.
Justin Timberlake?
Yeah, no. Apparently, in the new company that bought it is going to use Justin Timberlake. It's like they saw Social Network and they thought, oh, he knows a lot about this.
They think he's the guy from the movie.
They think he's the guy who
exactly right.
he invented that Napster. So they hired Justin Timberlake because he was good in the movie.
The world is going crazy.
Isn't that hilarious?
Oh, that is great. Hey, I didn't know this. TMZ, do you know what TMZ stands for, Robin?
No, I don't.
All right. TMZ stands for 30 Mile Zone. It originally referred to the site's concentration on the 30 miles around Hollywood. I didn't know that. Yeah, that's pretty good.
You know how it came up? It's actually in the back of the way we found it was it's in the back of every after contract. And what happened was, you know L.A. pretty well.
Yeah, a little bit.
You know where the Beverly Center is? It's in kind of West Hollywood.
Mm-hmm.
It used to be right around there was the Writers Guild. So if you did a movie within a 30-mile radius of the Writers Guild, you didn't have to pay to put extras up in a hotel room. But if you did it outside that 30-mile radius, you had to pay for hotels and per diem. So they called it the 30 Mile Zone. It was done in the 20s, and it kind of went away, but it's still in the back of these contracts.
I remember when TMZ got started, and I used to see it, and I go, what kind of fucking dopey business is this? Because they used to give away everything for free, but I realized they just wanted to get their name out there.
Right.
It was kind of a brilliant business plan, and now I'm reading, and tell me if this is right. Harvey, in 2011, TMZ.com was ranked the second most popular entertainment news property in the United States with 18.5 million viewers. And as of 2009, TMZ cost $8 million a year to run, was estimated to be worth up to $400 million. $400 million. That's nothing to sneeze at from a fucking website.
Absolutely.
In 2008, the website made $25 million. Was on pace to record about 15. On pace to what does it say? Record about 15 million in 2000. I don't know, record, but
well, that's what we do with profit and losses now. We just record them.
Well, I guess to record maybe. I don't know. I don't know what this note is, but how much is TMZ worth?
I don't know. I mean, it's all stupid money. I have no idea.
But do you get a cut? I mean, like, how does you?
Oh, come on, Howard.
Harvey, are you? I mean, you're the founder of the thing. Are you just a paid employee?
No, and listen, they treat me well. I'm not going to.
What does that mean, though? I mean, you don't have to give me the exact amount, but does it mean that you participate in some of the profits?
The better the site does, the better it is for me.
Okay. So are you a millionaire?
Oh, come on. You can't be embarrassed by these questions.
Harvey.
I'm a little embarrassed.
Harvey, are you a millionaire?
Well, no. I'll tell you why. Because, and you know what I'm talking about here. If you have a staff and you're running a staff and you start talking about this stuff, it only leads to bad things.
Right, because everyone...
Is that why you stand behind that wall so they can't get you?
That's right.
They're ready to lynch him.
And the door is really close by. But you know what? Can I delicately kind of try to change the subject away from this?
Well, you want to know something?
Well, no, because you were saying about giving stuff away for free.
Yeah.
I probably shouldn't say this, but it's true. I mean, look, when we started this thing, I figured everybody who was wanted to do entertainment stuff but didn't put the resources in it would use what we had, and it was more valuable to brand TMZ than it was to try to sell a video for $200.
He's so right.
Yeah.
You know what? I remember, like, you guys would go, use whatever you want from our website. Just give us a credit.
Yeah.
That's all we asked.
That's all we did, and we still do it. But it was that, and nobody kind of realized what we were doing, and so we started giving this stuff out, and it took like 3 or 4 months, and our stuff was just everywhere, and people were saying, "Oh, look at these idiots! They're giving us this stuff for free."
Right.
And it worked.
But did Time Warner even understand what you were up to? Because I would imagine, like you've said that sometimes you have to, pay for a picture or pay for something to, to get a
right.
Right. So when you would go to them and say, hey, we want to, we got a guy who's got the tape of Michael Richards' racist rant on a comedy club stage, and we want to pay X amount of dollars for it, they go, screw you, you're just giving this stuff away. Why should we keep paying for this? Did they give you a hard time?
No. Everybody understood what we were doing, and it really worked. And yeah, and we'll pay for videos and photos. I think one of the dumbest things is all of these reporters who kind of stick their nose up at this and say, how dare you pay for photos and video? The fact is, everybody does. When like there's a fire in the middle of the night and then local news airs it on the morning. Do you think they shoot that? They have stringers out. There are stringers out there of these companies, and they sell it to these stations. And there's nothing wrong with like buying a photo and a video because it's objective. You can't say that a photo is somehow altered if you pay $100 for it. It doesn't matter to me whether somebody else shoots it or I pay a camera guy on my staff to do it. Fact is, it doesn't change whether you pay for it or not. The trick is that when people are paying for these interviews now, because when you pay for an interview, what you're doing is you're saying to the person, if you make it really good, I'll give you another $2,000 or whatever, and you give them an incentive to lie or shape the truth, and that's where paying really goes into dangerous territory. So what these TV shows now are doing, or they're saying we don't pay, and I think it's a bad idea to pay for interviews. We don't do it because we don't really do interviews.
Right.
But I think it's a really, really bad idea. So what they do is they kind of lie and they say, yeah, we didn't pay for an interview. But what they do is they'll give Joe Jackson $100,000 for a high school picture, and they say, oh no, we just paid for the picture.
Right. That's their way around it.
That's right.
What do you admire a guy like Perez Hilton who started his own gossip website? Do you like what he's up to?
Well, yeah. I mean, look, I remember meeting him really early on in this thing, and what I remember, and I don't get out much,
right.
And and I don't really interact with a lot of people, but I do remember meeting him right when we started TMZ, and he was real young, and I thought, this guy is a hustler, and he was telling me that he used to hang out at the Coffee Bean on Sunset Boulevard to get stories, and he'd meet people there, and this is a really, in many respects, journalism is a lazy business that people just kind of wait for wire copy to come, and and he wasn't like that, and I don't know, I admire people who hustle. And,
right, I do too.
Really did, and he really did.
But when you go out in Hollywood, are you despised by people because like Alec Baldwin? He had one of the funniest quotes about you. I mean, he despises you, and I guess that's because you guys put up the infamous phone call that he made to his daughter, where he really he called her a filthy pig and all this kind of stuff. And Alec Baldwin said, I actually thought this was kind of funny. He says, did you hear this quote? Seemed to be that breed of tabloid creature that realized an almost sexual level of pleasure from ruining other people's lives. So when you go out, Harvey, do people give you shit all the time like Hollywood types?
No.
They don't?
I mean, look, I know you see the show sometimes.
Yeah.
I mean, look, the show is a laugh. I mean, the show is real different from the website. I mean, the website we try to do is just break news. The show is a laugh. So if we were out there confronting people, the show wouldn't work. The show is supposed to be engaging people, having fun with them, and I think they like being on because it reaches a much younger audience than some of the traditional shows. So, I mean, look, we just want to have fun with these celebrities, and I got to tell you, it's for me at least. I'm just telling you my experience. It's almost the opposite.
Wow.
But we really have fun with people, and they'll come up and they say, "Oh my God, I watched the show." And
Harvey, why not go off on your own and stop working for Time Warner? In other words, why not go do this? Because you're a hardworking guy. You get all this gossip and stuff. Why not go off and just do it on your own? What do you need them for?
I really like where I am. I mean, I really like where I am. And, look, I know somebody, and this may sound like a stupid story, but I remember a long time ago that somebody who was extremely successful, who I knew, who was really young, read a story in the Hollywood Reporter and read something about another producer or whatever who was making more money. And it ruined this person's weekend. And that had such a profound effect on me because I remember thinking to myself, somebody's always going to do better than you, make more than you do, whatever. And you just got to figure out what works for you. And you can't start comparing yourself to other people. I mean, you could do better, you could do more, you could do more.
Well,
and
you've actually lived your life like that. I mean, you're a lawyer, right?
Yeah.
By trade. And then you what law school did you go to?
University of Chicago.
Right. So you're a bright guy. You were a lawyer. And all of a sudden, I think you just said to yourself, this isn't turning me on. You probably could have made a lot of dough being a lawyer.
It was because of my dad.
Yeah. And all of a sudden, you realize, like, I'd rather just be a journalist.
Yeah, and that really was because of my dad. And I remember having that talk with him and saying, I just don't like it, and I want to do something else, and I have no idea if I can succeed at it, and I want to try, and I'm going to probably could go broke.
That takes balls.
Did he let you?
He was great. No, I'm serious. I mean, it's like, my dad was really, really hardworking, and I thought he was going to have the exact opposite direction. He owned a liquor store, and he really had to kind of fight to make things work for us. And I remember him saying, if you're not happy and you're young, you've got to follow your dream. He said, I wasn't able to do that, and he said, you just got. And I remember he was so good and simple, and it's all because of my dad.
Here are some of the stories TMZ has broken. All right, here we go. The death of Michael Jackson. Mel Gibson's anti-Semitic rant. Were you the first guys you were the first guys to get that tape, right, from that chick?
The tape from the chick.
Mel Gibson. Yeah, Oksana.
No. You're talking about the anti-Semitic rant in Arizona, I think.
Yeah, you're talking about the drunken...
with the police officer.
Okay, all right, got it.
You're mixing them up.
I'm mixing my rants up.
Your anti-Semitic rants.
All right, the Alec Baldwin phone call. Michael Richards' racist rant on stage at the Comedy Club. You guys ran that first. Tiger Woods' car accident. The beating of Rihanna by Chris Brown. Right? And so you had to pay a lot of money just to get that first picture of Rihanna with her face busted in, right?
Yeah, I mean, look, we won't talk about specifics, but...
I will. $62,000 is what the price was for that.
Yeah, you know what? I got to tell you something. I read some of this stuff, and it's absurd. It's like somebody will just say it, and then suddenly it goes all over the place. That's absurd.
So it wasn't $62,000.
Well, I'm saying that whatever we did, those stories are absurd.
Right, and it was worth paying for because it got the name TMZ out there.
Well, look, on that one, I got to tell you, and people, listen, that one was really controversial. Mm-hmm. Ultimately, my feeling about that was everybody was lying about that case, that Chris Brown's people were saying, oh, it was nothing, and Rihanna's people were spinning it, and the picture ended up telling a story that nobody else was telling who was involved in this thing, and it became, it was a criminal case where, it was really, really important and everybody was lying about it.
Christian Bale's rant at a crew member, the set of the Terminator Salvation. I still
brilliant.
That's the best.
You know what?
How do you get that?
I got to tell you something. Let me tell you, because you were asking me about Warner Brothers and everything, about how this thing works, because it is tricky.
Right.
And that's a Warner Brothers movie.
Right.
That's a Warner Brothers movie. And so, think about it, and it was on the heels, I think, of the movie coming out. So, think about how
you're telling me, but Harvey, you're telling me Warner Brothers can't come to you and say, listen, Harvey, we just pumped a fortune into this Terminator movie. We can't afford to have Christian Bale look bad or have him pissed at us. He's got to go out and do promotion. You're not running this story. They never say that to you.
Howard, I swear to you. I swear to you. Never, ever, ever. And the biggest one, I think, is, that was a big one for that, and they never put pressure on me like that. And I told them, listen, that was the deal going into this thing, that, when we had, our meetings, I said, look, if I'm going to run a news operation, there's no way you can say this, because
but Christian Bale didn't come to them and say, hey, fuckers. Maybe it's because most people don't know Time Warner owns TMZ.
I wouldn't have known that until you mentioned it.
Right. So a lot of them.
Well, listen, I'm not saying sometimes that people won't come to them and try to put pressure on them, but they don't do it to me.
Have you ever killed a story? Have you ever killed a story because of pressure?
No, I'm telling you. And listen, I'll give you an example. Mel Gibson's rant in the 2006. He was a player. And he did business with Warner Brothers, and he was a big producer. And I remember, on that story, I gave people a heads up on what I was doing, and the only thing I got back, and I swear to you, Howard, this is true, and that was early on in TMZ. And what I got back, and I thought to myself, this is the story. This is going to determine, at least for me, whether I keep doing this or not. Because if they say kill it, it's just going to become like one of these traditional, bullshit, PR machines. And I remember it went up the chain because people had to know what was going on before it did. All they said to me was, if you've got a story, you got to run the story. Just make sure you're right.
Have you guys ever been duped? Like, have you ever printed a story that
you had to retract?
Yeah.
Rarely, but yeah, it's happened. I mean, we've been duped.
What does that do to
everybody?
Is that due to like somebody just trying to fuck with you, or is that someone trying to get money out of you for a story that doesn't exist?
No. I mean, usually what it is, this whole thing is based on relationships and trust, because everybody thinks it's about money. It's not. It's all about trust, and we really had to build this because nobody worked with online news operations before this. And I remember I've made so many phone calls to people in town because I've been in LA a long time, and I said, look, try us once and trust us, and if we screw you, you're going to kill us because you'll tell everybody in the world not to work with us, so work with me. And it goes both ways, and we have to trust people we work with, too. And there are certain people that I would never trust who call me up because I know they're liars. And then there are people where I would literally take it to the bank. And sometimes you deal with people who you have a relationship with, who are good, who are really good sources, and then all of a sudden they go haywire, and they'll shade something or even just simply lie about something. And you source things. Sometimes you quadruple source things.
But I read something where it said that some woman once came into your office, for example, and had the most mind-blowing dossiers on Michael Jackson.
Michael Jackson, yeah.
And you talked to her for about 5 minutes, and you realized that she had stolen documents, and you're an attorney. You understand what that means. So you threw her out. But what the fuck was the shocking thing?
It had to do... I've never talked about this just because I don't want... See, here's the thing, Howard. If people come to you and you give them assurance that they're a confidential source, you start blowing that and you start blabbing about it, nobody's going to talk to you. Right. I mean, aside from the fact that it's wrong, it's just really bad business, too.
But now the guy is dead.
Michael's dead, but the people who come to you know that if they're the ones that you really care about right now. Because if somebody comes to me and says, "Look, I want to talk to you about something, but you have got to make sure that you never, ever, ever tell anybody that I talked to you," your word has to be gold, or you're dead.
That's right. But in this case, Michael Jackson's story is now, it's moot, and.
But it doesn't doesn't matter. It's like, so the source is still alive as far as I know.
So you learned something about Michael Jackson that would have what? Put him in jail?
No. It has to do with the circumstances around how he ended up having his kids. And it was very detailed, and and that's as far as I'm going to talk about it.
I see. And so was it something, too, that you don't want to reveal because the kids are still here and that they would know something about themselves?
No, it's more about that if I tell somebody that I will deal with them confidentially, if you're not a man of your word, you're dead. Nobody's going to trust you. Nobody's going to trust you. I mean, to the point where if somebody says, look, you can never tell, and then suddenly you get subpoenaed by a judge, because this happened to me once, and they threatened to throw you in jail, you got to go.
I don't understand the line with the gossip, because like you've even said, you struggled, but let me ask you this. You struggled with the David Hasselhoff video where his daughter had taken a picture of him drunk, a video of him drunk, and you said, hey, you know what? This was meant to be private. I'm not going with this because David Hasselhoff's daughter took it, and this isn't right. But then at the same point, the Alec Baldwin one is a private conversation between him and his daughter, even if it's, a bad one. That's the same thing.
It's not, and I'll tell you why. But listen, I agree with you. I mean, we have these debates all the time in the newsroom, and we kill things all the time. We debate things, we argue all the time. And, the difference between the two of those is, to me, ultimately, is that the David Hasselhoff thing was never a court case. There was nothing public about it. It was just a father and his daughter who made an agreement about this video, and the girl's boyfriend, a sleazy guy, stole the tape and then went out and sold it. But it was just a stolen tape about something that was totally private between the daughter and her father. The Alec Baldwin thing, which listen, I'm going to be honest, I did struggle with Alec Baldwin, and we talked about it and we debated it, but ultimately the Alec Baldwin thing was part of a court case, and whether it was a mistake or not, I don't know. It was not sealed. When we got this thing, it wasn't a sealed tape. It was real. I mean, it was part of the court file in a very public divorce where everybody in the divorce was talking, but it was part of the court file. I mean, it's something that anybody could get, at the time we got it.
So,
Well, the Hasselhoff tape eventually came out, so do you regret not doing it?
No, and we never ran it. I mean, it did come out, and when it came out, we never ran it. We've never run the David Hasselhoff tape. Because if you do it, you're a douchebag. If you really believe something, and then you say, well, everybody else is doing it, so I'll do it too. Then there's no compass, and so I saw everybody did it. We didn't do it. We've never run it.
Harvey, do you think that Harvey, do you think the paparazzi should be more legally restricted in the sense that sometimes these guys are like almost photographing people in their homes or in their backyards and all that kind of stuff? I mean, I know you guys send out someone all the time. You don't send them out personally, but you'll buy the stuff. Don't you think sometimes they step over the line? Yeah,
not only step over the line, somebody's going to die.
Right, I agree.
I'm telling you, somebody's going to die in the city. And what happens is, look, it's funny because Lindsay Lohan, whatever you think of her, we found out she's telling people she didn't want to go out last night. And it's real early right now in L.A., so I got to find out exactly what happened. But as of last night, she wasn't going to go out because she knows what a bounty there is on her head for the first picture that anybody gets of her out. So it literally scared her. But it's true. I mean, there are these renegade paparazzi in town that will chase. I mean, they'll blow red lights. They'll do anything to get these pictures. And
what is a picture of Lindsay Lohan worth right now?
Yeah, what first picture can we have now?
Yeah, I mean, it's the first picture of her going out of house arrest, you mean?
Yeah, I mean, they'll probably get a picture of her, at a club or I don't know. I mean, that's just the way this thing works. I mean, look, there are a lot of paparazzi in this town, and there aren't that many interesting things to shoot. So they don't know whether it's going to be interesting. So it doesn't matter whether it actually is or not. It's the chase and the possibility that they're after. So,
Harvey, were you out a person? In other words, let's say a big Hollywood star is gay, but he's living I
can already answer it. No,
you would not.
I don't want to be bedroom police in this thing, and that was what we decided, at the very beginning of this thing, that we're just not. I mean, that's kind of, we got a bunch of things that we kind of say these are our rules, and I don't want to be bedroom police. I mean,
Harvey, is a picture of me worth anything? I'll send you one, and you send me the money. You know what I mean?
Depends on what you're doing.
But you will out cheating. Well, if they cheat, you will out them, right?
No, I mean, like what?
Like, let's say you catch a, I don't know. Let's say you caught
some married guy.
Yeah, Tom Hanks. Let's say you caught him cheating.
If you caught Arnold with his maid,
right? You would have to go with that, right?
Well, look, I mean, we're doing the Arnold story, and I suppose you could say that that's cheating. But I mean, does that feel like just a cheating story to you?
No. I mean, that's just crazy.
That's a crazy story.
That's a crazy story.
Yeah, you know, it's funny because we had a big debate on this yesterday. I think Arnold's going to be fine in this thing. I really do.
What do you mean? Define fine.
Yeah, what do you mean?
A movie career?
I'll define fine. The one of the dumb things that people do in this business, well, in the country, is they'll look at somebody in the middle of a scandal and they'll say he's finished. I mean, it's like Kobe Bryant, he's finished.
Right.
Well, that didn't happen, did it?
No.
It's like you look at it right when it happens, and when everybody's covering it, and you take that snapshot, and then you define the rest of the person's life that way, and it never works that way. Things get. Memories get dull.
Right.
People move on. Other things happen, and I think that's going on with Arnold. I mean, it's a crazy story, but ultimately, aside from his family who has to deal with this, who'd he hurt?
How many kids does he really have? I mean,
have you found any more?
I don't know, but I mean, like, who'd he hurt?
Well, you're right. I mean, I don't think that I do think. Look at Elliot Spitzer, who was our governor here in New York. He's got his own show on CNN. That's right.
I don't think that Arnold's career will be hurt. But
you know what? But Harvey's right here. Compare it to this. Marv Albert, the loved and renowned sportscaster, was dressed. I don't know. He had women's clothes and biting people. And I go over to the Knicks game. I see Marv
and
working.
He sits there and he's calling the game.
He's doing fabulous. In fact, he won't even look at me. He thinks I'm a scumbag. So I mean, what can I tell you?
Kobe Bryant is the most beloved athlete in LA. He gets and if you would have asked anybody back then, it's like, will Kobe Bryant ever get an endorsement again? No, never, ever. Well, look at what happened. And,
but what about Mel Gibson? I mean, it really seems to be down.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's got a harder time just because it's repeated. I mean, I think, if it gets repeated over, but that said, I mean, okay, fine. You give me Mel Gibson, I'll checkmate you with Chris Brown. Explain that to me.
Right.
Well,
it's like but it's like people forgive other people who have a good movie, who have a good song. I mean, that's people don't ultimately look behind the work. And if somebody does a great song, look, Chris Brown. I mean, come on.
Didn't Mel Gibson threaten to break your kneecaps and dump you in the desert?
I don't believe that story.
I heard that story.
I know, I heard it too. I don't believe that.
How funny would that be?
That would be great. Mel Gibson.
Mel Gibson kills Harvey.
Howard, the best part of that story was that when it came out the day before I went on vacation for 2 weeks. And so when I did the show, I said, I don't believe that crap. That's ridiculous. And then it disappeared for 2 weeks.
Harvey, you had to, at some point in your life, decide to live an openly gay lifestyle because it would have been a disaster if you tried to hide that. But you've said even in your 20s, you were really afraid to come out, right? You felt
I was agoraphobic.
Right. Because
I was literally agoraphobic.
You were trapped in your house?
Well, he was agoraphobic because he was afraid to come out of his closet.
Oh,
but Harvey,
no. When I was like a reporter in I guess my early 30s, late 20s, whatever, I worked at a station. And I remember thinking, if the news director found out, I'm dead. I'm dead. And I literally got to the point where I just never wanted to go out of the house because I would go into a restaurant, with friends, and I could scope that restaurant in about 2 seconds to see if I knew anybody there, and it was like always this panic. And I remember just thinking at a point, it was exhausting, and I just thought, this is ridiculous.
Right.
This is just ridiculous.
Right.
So for a long time, I mean, everybody in my life knows, everybody at work knows, and I thought, and I realized, who cares? I mean, it doesn't make a difference.
How far, Harvey? How far did the cover-up go? Did you have to tell homophobic jokes at the workplace and talk about You talk about how many girls you fucked?
Date women and bring them to office functions.
Did you have to go out and beat up gay guys just to prove to everyone that you're straight?
I'm way too small for that.
So Harvey's had a pretty incredible life when I think about it. I mean, the guy started out as a lawyer. Then he was a law professor. at like Harvard or something, right?
No. At University of Miami, which was like the best year of my life.
And why was that so great?
Because I was a pretty poor law student at University of Chicago, where it was extremely cold, and then all of a sudden I went to Miami, and I'm living in the sunshine and by the beach, and I made $11,500 a year, which I literally couldn't spend. And I was 24 years old, and I was teaching law school, and it was just, I don't know, it was just like the greatest year. It was the single greatest year of my life.
And then he became like a reporter and all. I mean, it's.
Why do you do that? Is it the People's Court thing?
I love that show. Come on, I love that show. I will never. They'll have to bury me. Really? I've done that show for 25 years.
Harvey, is your boyfriend a bodybuilder?
No, that's bullshit.
What do you mean bullshit? You with a very muscular. I picture you. I picture you with a very, very powerful, muscular man.
No,
he's always talking about the gym. You'd think that.
Right.
Somebody took a picture from a story, from a cover of a magazine where he wrote an article, and they said, "Oh, that's got to be him." So they published the picture, and they said, "Oh, that's got to be him." It was just ridiculous.
Have you ever had sex with any celebrities?
Oh,
Harvey.
I'm thinking.
Well, what do you think?
No, I'm just saying. I got to think way back. No, I can't think. Of
Is
anything.
that true?
I mean,
is that a disappointment?
You've had so many people. You don't.
No. Robin, what I'm doing is I'm thinking back because we've been together 19 years. So I'm thinking back.
Have you ever made out with a celebrity? But do you ever get Harvey? Do you ever get hounded by the paparazzi? Do you ever get actually followed around now that you're on television all the time?
Yeah.
You do.
Yeah.
And do you tell them they're not allowed to?
Wait a minute, guys! I won't buy these pictures.
That's right.
You can't do that. You
That's
can't.
right.
I mean, it's funny because I remember I got a ticket for texting in Venice, and I mean, it was terrible because it was really, really congested that day, and I'm just kind of standing there, and I have a convertible, and people were driving by, and they just thought it was so ironic, and everybody was coming by and taking pictures of this thing.
Were you
and I remember
were you thinking, oh shit, I hope no one prints this of me getting a ticket?
Howard, you know what I did? I got the first picture I could find, and I put it at the top of our website that I got. At the top of our website that I got busted.
That's so smart, actually, because you beat everyone else to it. Have you ever had to do a story on a personal friend?
Yeah.
You have.
I mean, personal friend. I mean, people I know. I mean, over time, yeah.
What was it? Well, who was? Think of an example of a friend that you had to do a story that they were not happy about.
Oh God! I mean, there are like a lot of these people. I mean, I know on different levels. I'm trying to think of who. I'm trying to think. You know what? It's more like the people who work with the celebrities than it is the celebrities. But sometimes it's the celebrities. I mean, it's nobody that's my best friend or anything like that. But yeah, I mean, I know a lot of these people, and sometimes they do things, and it's like, I think, why do you have to do it? I mean, you just have to do it.
I'm trying to figure you out. I'm trying.
What are you trying to figure out?
I'm trying to figure out. Are you the top or the bottom, Harvey? Honestly, you strike me as the top.
Tell me what you think. You think he's the top?
I do. I'll tell you why. Harvey. But his boyfriend is your boyfriend's the chiropractor bodybuilder type?
He's a chiropractor.
I think Harvey's. I don't know. I think Harvey's the top. I think Harvey's the top. I think Harvey would be in a traditional sort of way. If you looked at it from a heterosexual point of view,
I think
Harvey's
you're wrong.
the man.
I think you're wrong.
You think Harvey's the woman? You think? I think Harvey started out as a bottom, but now he's a very powerful man, and he's a top.
I think he was a bottom, and he stayed on the bottom.
Harvey, what is it? All of America wants to know. We watch you on TV. America does want to know, actually. Harvey, come clean. Are you a top or a bottom?
I'm not coming clean.
What?
Come on.
What?
Harvey.
What?
Harvey, it's time.
You know what? This proves it. He's a bottom. Every top yells out, I'm a top.
You can't indict by silence.
Harvey, will you come to New York and get married?
No.
You will not?
You don't want to be married?
I didn't say that. I just said I'm not going to. What? You're going to like. I mean, look. I think it's great. I mean, I think it's great that that these laws passed. I mean, if it happens in California, that's a difference. I'm a Californian.
I know.
I mean,
well,
I'm
I
in
think it's time to
California.
move to New York. Harvey, if it came down to that,
I think this whole thing's going to change. In 15 years, it's going to be like, the 50s with segregation and everything else. I think it's going to change in 10 or 15 years anyway.
Harvey, should two tops be allowed to marry? Even I draw the line at that. And I'm very liberal.
It can't love
That's
solve
right,
any
right.
problem.
Howard, I guess they can't, right?
That's right. They can't. That's wrong. Harvey, if it was to happen where we're all praying you get married, it's been too long, but if it happened, would you be the one to propose, or would your man be the one to propose?
So, Howard, I have said this for so many years, how smart you are. I know your game. I know what you're doing.
What am I doing? I don't even know.
I can tell you exactly what you're doing.
What am I
you're doing is when you can't get a direct answer, you think of roundabout ways of asking questions where you can suddenly piece things together. And then
You're absolutely right, because if you said you proposed, then I know you were the top.
But wait a minute, we have been having this question.
I know your game, Howard.
That's right. You're wise to me. God damn it. What I know what Robin's weight is. You want to know if Harvey swallows? He does.
Stop it.
Absolutely, he does.
Stop.
But he's not uptight. Big deal.
Okay, are we at 15 minutes? Because it's getting uncomfortable.
Harvey's squirming.
But a pleasure to talk to you, Harvey.
Hey, Howard, you guys are the greatest.
Thank you.
You are the greatest.
Thank you, and thanks for always being so nice to us.
Take care.
All right, Harvey, go back to whatever it is you're up to.
Yeah, I saw,
I
saw them covering Benji a few weeks ago.
Yeah, Harvey was covering Benji extensively. That's what I said. Boy, it must be a slow news day. All right, Harvey, later. Oh, there he goes.
Oh, he's gone.
Well, we'll never find out the answer if he's a top or a bottom.
He's keeping that secret. That's the one thing he's not coming.
This is the best of the wrap-up show. A recap and behind-the-scenes look with Jon Hein and Gary Dell'Abate. The best of the wrap-up show begins now.
Hello. It's Baba Booey, Gary Dell'Abate. And on Monday's wrap-up show, we talked about our big guest of the day. Lady Gaga was in. She gave a great interview. She performed and sounded amazing. We discussed that. And we also discussed how high-pitched Mike was in my office trying to get into the moment while everybody was throwing dildos and fake penises at him. So it was a big discussion of the wonderful guest, Lady Gaga.
Lady Gaga in today, and I guess my question to you guys would be, was it the person that you expected during that interview? Because she was very candid about a lot of different things. I didn't realize how talented she was musically until today. I'd heard her do stuff on piano before, but when you hear her do it live in front of your face, it's pretty compelling.
I thought today was one of the best sounding performances we've ever had in the studio. There was something about the way they put whatever effect on her voice, and it wasn't an effect to make her sound better, it's just to soften it up a little bit. But the way she played, the way the piano sounded, the Steinway piano sounded, the whole thing, I was blown away by how good the performance sounded.
I guess we got to give Scott the engineer some credit. He gets all the flack when it goes wrong, so kudos to Scott for getting that right.
The other thing is, kudos to Scott. The other thing is, I was really struck by, when a guest comes in, there was a lot of hubbub about, talking to our people and talking to security and doing walkthroughs about which way she's going to come in. But at the end of the day, none of that really happened. And when you go in when somebody like that comes in, sometimes you go in and there are people like, oh, you can't come in, and they can be very yes or no. I found her to be very personable right away. And I don't think she knows who I am from a hole in the wall. But,
well, you know what was a cool thing during the break? She said she used to watch the show, I guess when we were on E! Or maybe even the CBS show. She said as a kid growing up, she'd watch the TV show late at night and get in trouble from her mom.
And she said that the only way she could watch the TV show was to watch the late one, which... the show was on at 11 and it rebroadcast at 2 in the morning. And she said, I watched the 2 a.m. one. And my mother would be, are you watching Howard Stern in there? And she'd be like, no.
Now,
and she even said, hey, I'm feeling kind of starstruck, which I know she was being kind of sweet. And
no, but she did say that.
Yeah.
Before she came in, though, Gary, Howard accused you of sending every gay staff member in to meet Lady Gaga or have the chance to meet Lady Gaga.
All I said was, there's another gay staff member here who would like to meet Lady Gaga. Because I was told that. And in fact, he pretty much said that on the air because he's never in during the show. He came in today because he wanted to meet her. And then when he got on the air, he sort of reeled the whole thing in. And I wish Howard would have spoken to him because he, to me, is one of the great untapped guests in the show. Don't you agree?
Well, do you think he sandbagged you there a little bit?
He totally did.
Yeah.
I think he didn't want to come across as like, oh, I'm like every other gay guy. I have to meet her, but he wanted to meet her.
Yeah, we're talking about Chris from Howard TV, but the other gay guy who was dying to meet Lady Gaga and eventually got his dream fulfilled and reduced her to tears was High Pitch Mike. And Mike, I know you've got your concert T-shirt on, and this meant a lot to you. Yet during the interview, it seemed like you were getting some of that bullying that Lady Gaga always referred to, always refers to.
I was trying to watch in Gary's office, the
Oh, my
monitor,
God.
and everyone's like in the middle of her performance. Everyone's like trying to shove bananas in my ear and dildos in my ass, and it's like this the one. Do it any other time of the day, but like what? You have a legendary musician here. Like, let me enjoy the moment.
I was sort of torn by the whole thing because, first of all, it was all going on in my office, and I was sort of sitting trying to, the performance was sort of moving, and I really wanted to watch it. And they were annoying the shit out of me, but then there was like a penis on the floor, and then somebody kicked it over to hit Lisa G in the ankles.
Could you tell whoever was doing it just stop because you were seriously trying to pay attention and this meant a lot to you?
I was trying to, but I don't think they got it.
Because you don't think they meant that maliciously, do
No,
you?
but I mean, like if Bruce Springsteen was in the studio, like I don't think anybody would bother Gary. If
Well, in all fairness, if Bruce Springsteen was here, nobody would throw a dick at me either.
True. I mean, I guess it comes with the territory being gay, but
Why was it so important for you to meet Lady Gaga?
because, like I said in there, the music is fun. It's a great concert to go to, whatever. But if I think of myself 15 years ago, there was no Lady Gaga out there. There was nobody telling you, you know what, it's okay if you're gay. Don't listen to the people.
See,
that
I have
bully you.
I have a question. Isn't that sort of what Elton John has always said?
Yes and no. Like, I mean, in the 70s, wasn't he married to a woman? And
But
stuff?
that was you probably were barely born yet.
Right.
As you were growing up as a kid, Elton John was already out and was one of those people. Remember, he gave shit to Eminem,
Right.
and then they made up and all that
Mhm.
stuff. So there's been other people who've had that attitude.
But even him, to an extent, he's very flamboyant. And for people in the Midwest who think every gay person has a lisp and flamboyant and dresses so fancy, it's Gaga's. You hear her story and she was a kid in high school and she was unpopular and this and that, and people relate to that, and then they see where she's come up the ranks and changed. I think she's changed millions of people's lives.
Hey, I know, Mike. I know you're sincere, and it was a great moment. But it just hit me like it sounded like you were giving her some credit about like being brave and coming out. Were you even aware of her when you came out?
Her first single, Love Game, came out right about the same time, around November of 2008. So like she was kind of in the club.
But she wasn't the reason that sent you out of the closet.
No, not her per se. I mean, it was a lot of, some of the stuff here and some of the stuff with my mom, and even Howard getting married was like, and my parents' 40th anniversary. It was everything combined. It wasn't just one thing.
But it almost sounded like you were giving Lady Gaga more credit for you coming out than Howard.
Oh, no. I don't think for coming out. I was saying for changing the teenagers and the young kids out there who don't know how to deal with being gay.
What did you think of that message she was sending today about, like, don't do drugs, don't have sex when you're at a young age?
It's smart stuff, like I have nieces and nephews, and I don't ever want them to get into drugs, and you could say she's contradictory because she smokes pot or whatever, but everybody has a vice, and I think she's being as honest as Howard is with everything in his life. They're two equally iconic figures, and both of them kind of tell it like it is.
Were you tearing up at all today?
I don't think today. I think in the concerts I've teared up. A lot of things get me to tear up, but not just watching her perform. It's the fact of what she's doing.
Hey, I thought Mike had a point, Gary, and maybe I can ask you, like, historically, like, sorry.
That's
is today the fame she's at right now, is she the most famous guest we've ever had on, you think? At the height of the fame?
It's funny. I was walking my dog last night. I was talking to my neighbors, and I said I had Lady Gaga coming on, and they said, "Who's the biggest guest you've ever booked?" And I said, "She might be it." I mean, we've had Letterman on, we've had Billy Joel on, and Billy Joel is very important. I guess Lady Gaga's a bigger deal for me to get because Billy came on, I felt, because of his friendship with Howard. Like, I didn't nag the shit out of Billy Joel to come on. He just said he wanted to. So I'm trying to think, who would you say? McCartney.
McCartney's a pretty
McCartney's
big
the biggest guest, probably. Yeah,
But I'm saying at the height of their fame.
Yeah, I think you may be right.
Well, right. In other words, saying that you have McCartney on when he was a Beatle would be the equivalent of having Lady Gaga on now.
Even as big as those people are, still, when she walks out of here, there's 200 people in our lobby downstairs that have stopped working and are camped out waiting to get a glimpse of her. Then you have the 500 people outside and press and everybody waiting to get a glimpse of her. And none of that happened with Letterman or Billy Joel.
This is our second time here, when she came for the Gayle King show, and Shirley's absolutely right. I've never seen anything like what goes on when she comes around.
Yeah, they are absolutely lined up. Mike, with respect to how she was with Howard, was that the interview that you thought we were going to get today, or did she show a different side of her?
You know, coming in beforehand, Howard's going to get something that no one else has gotten.
So what did he get today?
Well, the Blackberry songs for one.
Yes.
Like, she said she didn't even want to play them. She's like, "Oh, I don't want to. You don't want to hear this." And he's like, "No, play it."
Yeah, the second she took the phone out, it was all right. These are going to come. It's just a matter of Howard, getting her to do it. And yeah, that was an exclusive.
And then even the sex talk, It's Howard Stern. You have to ask about your sex life. So,
and I was sort of amused that she was sort of annoyed by this sex talk. I thought she would have been open for anything. She's like, because what would happen if she tells a story about her grandfather, and Howard goes, "You think he'll ever go with chicks again?" She's like, "Where the hell did that come from?" I had a thought. I forgot what I was going to say. It'll come to me.
Well, her fans. I mean, like Mike was saying before. I mean, there's cult-like devotion there, and I had seen her, I guess, on the web sit at a piano and do paparazzi or something like that. But again, that's you're removed from it. You're watching on the computer. But when she sat down in front of the piano and sang both of those songs, look, you may not like the music. I understand that, but you got to respect the fact that she's got the talent.
And that was a thought that I had. Howard asked her, "How did you decide what kind of music you were going to do?" She said she was influenced by rock and by this and by that. And when you see her sit at the piano, he said, "Like, why did you go into pop?" And when you see her sit at the piano and sing the songs, like she could have put out an album and been like Tori Amos, which would have been critically acclaimed and nobody would have bought.
And she was also never wavered from her pursuit of music. And granted, she did different styles, but she said, she was bussing tables. She was doing whatever she had to do in order to succeed. And with that training that she had, she was smart enough to get that persona and break through. And both Howard and Robin were asking her, is Gaga going to go away? Are you going to move on to the next kind of thing? And she said, no, it'll always be with her. But I don't know. I have a feeling down the road you may see her stripped down.
Yeah, John's convinced that in like 5 years she's going to release an album called Here Comes Stephanie.
Yeah, he's convinced of this 100%. I was going to say that in this day and age with music, everybody is so overproduced. Everybody, the production value. I mean, there's no real singers out there anymore. So it was refreshing to hear her at a piano, nothing else, and singing. I was blown away. I never really listened to her, so I didn't know what to expect.
John and I talk about this all the time, especially because John's worked on all the music specials, and we always sit down and compare notes, like who are the people that come in here at 8 a.m. and knock it out of the park?
Yeah.
And it's not a lot. And I said, I've always been surprised by how people can't sing at this hour, and once in a while I'm surprised by how people who are supposed to be able to sing can't sing at all.
Right. And she was just powerful as hell today, man. It was impressive. And the other impressive thing, real quick, is, she's telling this heartfelt, story about bullying and her thing, growing up and all the shit she got for it. And here we are chucking and gluing dildos to high-pitched mic while all he wants to do is just watch this song. I mean, The Office, it was like 2 shows going on.
I know. I was a little annoyed by the one going on in my actual office.
Well, you should blame Mike. He wouldn't move. That's where the action was.
It would have been great if, during the break, she's like, these goddamn fags.
Hey, it's Sal Governale, and on Tuesday's wrap-up show, things are seeming to be a little strange. Seeming. Huh? Howard accused me of not properly spelling semen. I thought I did it right, but I got a little bamboozled. I got thrown for a loop. I try to explain myself, and as usual, I put my foot in my mouth again. And on top of that, Scott the engineer, one of the hardest working men on the show, takes credit for putting the piano together and the mix for Lady Gaga. Is it bullshit? Well, that's a stupid question, but see for yourself.
Let's get away from that for a second and talk about Sal's spelling. Now, We had speculated that Sal misspelled this word, but we weren't sure quite exactly how it came together. So you should explain that really quick.
So I get in on Monday morning, and the guys give me little Post-its, 2 songs, Gary Page, 1 in yellow, Robin songs or whatever. So I see it, I get a note that there's 2 songs, and when I go to listen to the song, I see that it says something like, I hope you're loving my seeming. And I go, well, that's weird. Then I hear the song, and I see that the song, the word that's being sung is semen. So I said to Howard, somebody doesn't know how to spell the word semen. I'm pretty sure it's Sal. So Howard says, well, you got to be sure. So Jason goes to Sal and Richard and says, hey, because the only way to know is to see the original email from Little Mikey. So Jason goes in to ask them for it, and they get very defensive right away. Why does Gary need to see it? What's going on? What did we do wrong? And Jason's like, nothing wrong. Gary just wants to see it. He's just curious about it, whatever. Then they went the whole rap like, well, we get a lot from Little Mikey. We can't, because we weren't even asking for that one. We said, just give us the ones you got in the last few days. So finally, late in the show, it gets forwarded to me, and I see that Little Mikey spelled it Seamin. And
right.
So now I have determined that that's how Sal thinks it's spelled, but he knows it's wrong. He's now added the G. And so once I see that, I came in this morning, and because yesterday I said, I think Richard and Sal know about it. I don't think this bit's going to work. This morning, when I saw that Sal had added the G, I said, I think it's going to work.
And before Sal even walked in, he's like, I'm in trouble. What did I do? You immediately assumed that you were on the hook for something. You didn't even know what it was.
Always. I'm always in trouble around here. So it was relieving to know that I wasn't in trouble. But it's either one fuck up or another. So this one wasn't that bad.
Now, why don't you just admit that you don't know how to spell semen?
I do know how to spell semen. When Howard said Little Mikey song, and I spoke to Gary in the morning about the semen song, and I forwarded it to him, and I thought that Gary wanted it for personal reasons. I go, did you get that song?
He did. He said, why did you send it to me in the morning? And after I already knew the answer, I go, I just wanted to check it. There's something I want to hear. So I never discussed the spelling with him in the morning.
Yeah, and I never caught on to it. And Jason asked me to forward it for Gary. And I had yesterday I worked on some stuff that I forwarded to Gary as well for personal reasons, so it all made sense.
Right.
And I was just like, oh, why the semen song? So that was it. And then when Howard called me in, he said the Little Mikey song, and I remember it was seeming.
But that's not what Little Mikey wrote.
I could have sworn he did. I went back to you're right, he didn't, but I swore I saw that fucking G there.
Because that's what you see in your head, because that's how you think it's spelled.
Maybe.
That's how this whole thing works, Sal.
I don't think that's the case. I'm going to disagree with you there, Gary.
Do you know what?
I know I'm not the brightest guy in the world. I don't know why that fucking G was there, but I saw that goddamn G.
Sal, when Howard asked you to spell it on the air today, you spelled it wrong.
Well, I wasn't sure. I always this is the weird thing. Here's how I rationalize it. I spell things wrong from time to time. And when he called me in and he said Little Mikey, I knew I spelled it Seaming. So when he asked me, I go, am I right? Am I wrong? Let me gamble here with the 3 brain cells that are left in my head and spell it the way I remember spelling it on the Little Mikey song.
So but Howard asked you how it's spelled, that's how you think it's spelled. Because if Howard said you're not answering what you wrote down, you're answering how do you think the word is spelled.
This is how I think. I thought it was spelled, and I said it on the air, Seamen. But then when I got Mikey's with the G on it, which I added in, which I go, maybe I've been wrong all this time. So then Howard calls me on the air and says, Little Mikey song, spell it. And I go, let me go with Little Mikey. I trusted Little Mikey's ability to spell better than mine. And I said ing, and I totally fucked it up. But in my opinion, before all this, like I said on the air, I thought it was Seamen. And
how do you spell it now?
Semen. I hope. Semen.
Well, which one?
Semen. I'm going for Semen. Final answer.
See, he's got a great move. When Howard asked him how he spelled it this morning, his voice was very tentative. And then what you do is you half throw it out there so that you can almost say that no, that's not what you heard, and you look for people's reactions.
Absolutely.
And then a lot of times you jump on the one that we go, that's it. You go, see, I knew it.
I jumped on the ing. That was the one I went with. I said, let me go with Little Mikey.
I loved your logic about then it was like, well, when you run, you've been running. So when you semen, you've been seeming.
Yeah, so technically,
You even laughed at yourself for that.
Yeah, Howard lost it on that one. I go, I can't defend myself on that. That's
the kind of logic you use when you used to sell stocks.
Absolutely.
And from here, I could see that bracelet that you got.
Yeah.
You're telling me you didn't know until today that's a permanent bracelet?
Here's the funny thing. I've been fidgeting with this bracelet for the past week since I got got back from Italy. I can't get this fucker open. And the first thing Howard says is that a bracelet that you can't open? I'm like, how the fuck did you know that? It was pretty amazing. But I like the bracelet, so I think it's a keeper. It's pretty nice.
Well, it is.
It's a permanent bracelet. It ain't going anywhere.
Yeah, me and Lindsay Lohan, we have something in common.
Why would anybody want to have a permanent bracelet?
Well, to show their love for whoever gave it to them, I guess. And I'm sure that's why you have it.
I love myself, apparently. I bought it myself.
So what do you do? Let me ask you a question. That thing's on forever, so what do you do when you go through the airport?
That's a great question. I have no idea. They stop me anyway because I look like a Hindu or a Paki anyway, so this won't deter them. This is just another thing.
Before we move over to Scott, Sal, I got one last question for you.
Sure.
You know, like seaman can describe a couple different things.
Yeah, it could be a sailor on a ship is a seaman.
Right. So how is there any difference in the spelling between the two of them? Or
I thought they were identical, which would be synonyms. I hope I got that correct.
So, okay,
right.
So sailors on the ship would be what?
Seamen.
Right, spelled
S-E. Wait a minute now. That's a good point. Now that I know the... you
hold on there, Bubba Louie.
Yeah, hold on there. You got me there, Heiny Hole. All right, that would be S-E-A-M-E-N. Seamen, because you take sea, which they're traveling on the sea, S-E-A,
right.
And then you have men who are on there, M-E-N, seamen. So in that case, yes. But for some reason, I thought that was the same. And by the way, the brilliant Robin Quivers spelled it the same way as well, S-E-A-M-E-N. So,
spelled what?
Semen. That comes out of your penis.
She did?
Yes. And then Howard did correct her. She thought there was an A in there, too.
Well, I missed that, but thank you for spelling both. Gary, was Scott taking credit for something he shouldn't have taken credit for?
I will say I walked into a studio today and I said to Scott, I got to tell you, Lady Gaga said it better than ever. I said, who did the settings on her voice? Because I thought that was, there was a little tiny effect on her voice, but nothing major that just made it sound so smooth. And he said, well, her audio guy came in here and he gave me some settings and put them in. So I walked out of there thinking that I should have been congratulating the audio engineer, which, by the way, it should be. The audio, usually a person's personal engineer knows what they like best.
And I also heard that the audio engineer gave the settings to somebody else who works with Scott. So, Scott, you should explain yourself here.
Time's up. No, he gave me the settings. I was going to put him in. He went in during the break and he was checking out the piano before Lady Gaga got there. He gave me the settings, but then I didn't have time to enter them, because I had to run back in the studio. So when Chris Gibbons, who we work with, came in, he put the settings in. We do this all the time. I'll mix some. Chris.
So I got it. So Chris put the settings in, and then he mixed it, correct?
Yeah.
So what did you do when you were back in the studio? When you went back to your studio?
No, I was I was just sitting there with him, monitoring. Just waiting for her to. We did the sound check together to make sure it sounded fine. From the whole process, I was responsible for making sure the piano got in, making sure it was all set up on Friday. We set it up. It was all mic'd and ready to go. Making sure the piano tuner got here on Monday morning, and then just making sure that everything sounded good and it was set up the way it was supposed to be set up. I handled Sunday with a lot of emails with their people of what do you got, what mics you got, what kind of piano it is, and blah, blah, blah.
So is that the way it's normally, like, does Chris usually do, like, times you've gotten shit? Has he done the mix also?
Chris does a lot. If we have the more complicated the mix, usually Chris is there with me.
You said Chris does a lot. What percentage would you say you contributed, and what percentage would you say Chris contributed?
I say 50-50. I mean, his hands were on the controls because I was sitting there. But
I mean, Scott took the supervisory role here.
Yeah, I was more, but in that role also I have to listen to make sure. Like, if it doesn't sound good, I'm going to go, Chris, I don't think it sounds right. Why don't we change it? I'm there for that too.
Whoa, Evan, slow down.
So on Wednesday's wrap-up show, I was accused of really not having much to do with Lady Gaga's technical performance when she was here. And really, everybody and their brother who could bust my balls, busted my balls. Check it out.
Howard gave a compliment the other day to Scott Salem about the audio for Lady Gaga. And that's turned it. I mean, that just
boy, did that open up a can of worms,
right? It lit a fuse, and I think people are still upset because some are claiming that Scott is taking credit unfairly. And Scott, I'm going to make your case a little bit here. Scott's saying getting the piano ready. I think you even said this on the air, Robin. The piano, making sure everything gets done, is part of Scott's job and what he does. Yet the question seems to be, Scott, what did you actually do? That's what people keep asking.
I am there. This one.
Were you
like I
just
said,
in the building? I am
I
there
was in the
could mean
building.
anything.
I was
Were you
the
in your
building.
office? Were you
I was in
the
building.
studio?
No, I'm there to make sure the artist is happy with what she has or whoever it is. I was in the studio. When we have things like this, Chris mixes in my studio. I'm in the studio to make sure Howard knows what to do, to make sure the artist is comfortable, and to be in the studio if there's any problems that arise during the performance. And that's what I was there doing.
Okay, so when Lady Gaga was there.
When she first came in, she sat down. I was in there to make sure she was comfortable with the way things sounded.
So you turned on everything.
We were giving direction to Chris, who was in the other studio mixing it. You know, if she said, I need more of this or I need less of that, I was there to make sure that got done.
Oh, so how much of what you did was the overall engineering part?
Chris had his hands on the fader, so I wasn't actually engineering it.
But the engineering part also has to do with placing the mics.
Chris placed the mics on Friday afternoon because I left, and he did it in the afternoon on Friday.
So one of the things you said was that it was
technically I didn't have a lot to do with it.
Hold it. I just want to say you at one point said it was 50-50.
Well,
is that really
technically no? I mean, if you want to put it that way, I mean,
well, technically speaking,
actually, as I thought of it later, it was actually my idea, and I hope Gary remembers this, to have the piano here. You first came into me, you said, listen, he came into me, he said, can we get a keyboard?
Hold on, stop.
Can we get a keyboard?
You're wrong.
No, I'm not wrong. I have witnesses.
No,
so
stop.
I suggested...
Scott, stop, because you're gonna. I'm keeping you from digging the hole.
Hey, Gary, if you remember, I said Lady Gaga's a good singer.
Howard,
Maybe she
and I
can
love
sing.
her clothes. Howard suggested the piano right off the bat. Howard suggested the piano. Then we got into a discussion of, if Lady Gaga walks in and see a piano, will it be weird for her? She feels like she has to play. And then you had the discussion of, well, should we get a keyboard or a piano? Howard is the one
you
who said,
came in and said, can we get a keyboard? I said...
But you just said it was your idea.
Well, because I didn't know that you didn't tell me Howard wanted the piano. You just came in and said, could we get a keyboard?
Okay, so even if that's
and
the
I
case...
said,
hold on, if that's the case... Can we get a keyboard? Then how is it your idea that we got a keyboard?
No, piano.
No, Howard thought of the keyboard. Scott thought
Howard
of the piano.
Howard thought of the
well,
piano.
I didn't know that. I didn't know that. I didn't know that. He came in and said, "Can we get a keyboard?"
Here's the question.
And he mentioned that we probably could get a Steinway. And I said, well, it'd be much better idea to get a Steinway.
No, we knew we wanted a Steinway for the sound. We were just worried about that it might upset her. But here's the thing. Jason, who won't come down because he's afraid because everyone hates him on the wrap-up show, he said to me, you're the engineer and you had your Chris Gibbons. But if Chris Gibbons were you, would he have needed an assistant?
No, I mean, he has an assistant. He has somebody that...
I'm saying if Chris Gibbons were doing what he did and you weren't around, would he have needed someone to help him?
Yes. Someone needs to be in the studio as well.
He couldn't be in two places, is what you're saying.
That's correct.
Well, the other thing you took flack for today, Scott, was you said you were here on Friday and made sure the piano got in here, but then everyone was saying that wasn't you. That was Jared or Sarah or somebody else.
I'm not a mover. I'm not. That's really not my responsibility to make sure the piano gets here. I'm an audio engineer, okay? Gary, before he went on vacation, said, can we get the piano here on Friday, and could you follow up on this? So I followed up on that. Gary told me, he delegated to me. I made sure that the piano, everything was set for the piano to be delivered Friday, and to make sure. So I emailed Jared, who passed it on to Sarah, everybody passed it along.
By the way,
but I made sure that's not my responsibility. My responsibility is to make sure this thing sounds good and the artist is happy.
By the
that's
way,
my responsibility.
The TV show is working on, I was looking at it this morning, this unbelievable montage of the piano being moved in, and Scott just did it with folded arms.
Yeah, someone made the
I'm not moving the piano.
Well, someone made the
I made
analogy.
sure it was here and it was delivered and put in the right place and put together properly.
Someone made